Later that day, the two women walked into the hospital. Rico lay unconscious, hooked up to machines. Mina stared at him silently, emotions crashing like waves in her chest. The doctor met them in the hallway. He's stable, but the injury to his spine is severe, he explained. He may never walk again. Mina felt her knees weaken, and Sherry held her upright. He's lucky to be alive, the doctor added. Can I see him? Mina asked. Yes. But he's still sedated. He won't wake up for a few hours. Mina entered the room, her heart pounding. Rico looked peaceful in sleep, so different from the man who had broken her heart. She sat in a chair by the bed and whispered, "Why didn't you just tell me the truth?" Rico's mother arrived, carrying a tray of food. She looked surprised to see Mina. "You came," she said softly. Mina didn't answer. "Thank you," the woman continued. "You're a blessing." Mina looked at her. "Don't thank me. I didn't come for you." "I know," the woman said. "But he's my only son. I was scared." Mina folded her arms. "You pushed him to do what he did. You encouraged him." "Yes," the woman admitted. "And I was wrong. I didn't think it would end like this. I just wanted to see my grandchildren before I die." Mina turned away. "I'm sorry," Rico's mother said. "I truly am." Mina didn't respond. "Can you at least help him for a while?" the woman asked. "Until he adjusts to the new life?" Mina blinked. "A nurse would help more than I could." "He doesn't want a nurse," the woman whispered. "He wants you." Mina laughed bitterly. "Of course he does. He only remembers me when he's helpless. Please, Mina. Even just for a little while." Mina shook her head. "I can't promise you anything." She walked out of the room, leaving the woman behind. Her heart was heavy, but her mind was clear. The following week, Mina visited again. She didn't know why. Curiosity, pity, leftover love. Rico was awake this time. When he saw her, his eyes watered. "Mina," he croaked. She nodded. "How are you feeling?" "Broken," he said with a sad smile. "But seeing you makes me feel less dead inside." She didn't smile back. "I'm not here to play nurse. I just wanted to check on you." "I understand," he said. "I'm grateful you even came." Mina sat beside him but didn't hold his hand. "We need to talk about everything," she said. "Eventually," he replied. "But for now, just sit." Mina continued visiting the hospital, but not every day. Sometimes she stayed for an hour, sometimes just 15 minutes. Rico never complained. He seemed grateful for every moment. They didn't talk much about the past. She didn't want to reopen wounds that hadn't fully closed. But Rico began to notice something. Mina no longer looked at him with softness. There was a distance in her eyes, a boundary she had built to protect herself. And even though he wanted to reach across it, he knew he had lost the right. Sherry met Mina at a small cafe one evening. "So," Sherry said, sipping her drink, "are you still in love with him?" Mina stared at her cup. "I don't know," she said truthfully. "Some days I feel nothing. Some days I feel sorry. Some days I remember why I stayed so long." Sherry nodded. "But do you want him back?" Mina thought about it. "No," she whispered. "That part of me is gone." Sherry smiled gently. "Then you're healing. You just don't know it yet." When Rico was discharged, he returned to their old apartment. Mina helped settle him in, but made it clear, "This is not us going back. I'm just helping." Rico nodded. "I understand." His mother visited often, and Mina politely stayed out of the way. Eventually, Rico asked her directly, "Do you hate me?" Mina looked at him for a long time before answering. "No. But I don't trust you. And without trust, love can't live." Rico said nothing. He knew she was right. One afternoon, Mina visited with some groceries. As she placed items in the kitchen, Rico wheeled himself over. "Can we talk?" he asked. She nodded, though she didn't stop arranging things. "I know I ruined us," he said. "But I just want to say thank you for being here." Mina finally turned to him. You were my best friend, she said. Before anything else. And that's what hurt the most. You didn't just betray a girlfriend, you betrayed a friend. Rico's eyes filled with tears. I was stupid. Yes, she said quietly. You were. The next few weeks passed like clouds drifting across a slow sky. Mina returned to her writing. She performed at open mic nights again. Her words were stronger now, her voice steadier. One night, after a performance, a man named Darren approached her. Your poem about walking away, it hit me hard, he said. She smiled politely. Thank you. Would you like to grab coffee sometime? He asked. She hesitated, then replied, I'm not sure I'm ready for that. But thank you. He smiled and nodded. No pressure. Just had to ask. Back at home, Mina stared at her notebook. She wrote a new line, forgiveness is not forgetting, it's choosing not to carry the weight anymore. She read it out loud and felt something loosen inside her. She called Sherry. I think I'm finally ready to leave the past behind. Sherry cheered. Girl, you better. I'm so proud of you. Mina laughed. I didn't think I'd get here. But here I am. And for the first time in months, she slept through the night without waking up once. Rico had started physiotherapy. Progress was slow, painful, but steady. One day, Mina visited and found him standing, supported by bars, trembling but upright. Look, he said, beaming. She clapped gently. I'm happy for you. There was no spark in her tone, just sincere kindness. He noticed. Later that evening he told his mother, she's not coming back. Not like before. His mother sighed. Then let her go in peace. She's done more than most would. And for the first time, Rico didn't argue. Mina moved out of their apartment, officially. She found a small flat with light-colored walls and big windows. It wasn't fancy, but it felt like hers. She arranged her books, hung new curtains, and framed some of her poems. One evening, Sherry dropped by with food. This place is so you, she said. Mina smiled. Yeah, I think I forgot who I was. Sherry handed her a glass. To remembering, she said. Mina clinked her glass gently. To growing, she added. They toasted quietly, music playing low in the background. Weeks later, Mina received a call from Rico. I'm moving back to my hometown, he said. I need a slower life. A fresh start. That's good, she said. You'll do well there. There was a pause. I just wanted to say one last time, thank you. For everything. You're welcome, she said. Take care, Rico. He hung up without asking her to visit, without begging for anything. And that, to Mina, was his real apology. She put down the phone and smiled. It was really over. And she was finally okay. Months passed. Mina's poetry gained attention online. She was invited to perform at a major spoken word event. On stage, she stood tall, microphone in hand. This piece, she said, is for anyone who had to love and leave, to protect their own soul. The audience listened as she poured her heart out. No anger, just strength. When she stepped down, people clapped loudly. And in that applause, Mina found something she hadn't felt in a long time, freedom. After the event, Darren found her again. Still not ready for that coffee? He asked with a grin. She laughed. Maybe I am now. They went to a quiet cafe, talked about art, life, and growing up. Darren didn't try to impress her. He just listened. And Mina liked that. As they left the cafe, she said, thanks for waiting. He smiled. Some things are worth waiting for. Their friendship grew slowly. Darren wasn't like Rico. He never pushed, never assumed. One night, Mina told him everything, about the baby talk, the betrayal, the accident. He listened without judgment. When she finished, she said, that's my story. He replied softly, it's a story of strength, not pain. Mina nodded, feeling seen in a way she hadn't in years. Mina visited her parents one weekend. Her mother hugged her tightly. You look lighter, she said. Happier. Mina smiled. I feel lighter. Her father poured her a cup of tea. Sometimes the wrong path teaches us how to find the right one, he said. Mina held the cup in her hands. Yes, it really does. Darren attended Mina's next performance. When she spotted him in the crowd, she felt safe. Not the kind of butterflies from before, but a grounded, steady peace. After the show, he walked her home. You know, she said, I thought I'd never trust again. And now, he asked. She looked at him. Now, I trust myself. That night, she slept without dreams of the past. Only hope. Rico sent a final message weeks later. I'm doing better. Thank you again. I won't bother you anymore. I wish you the best. Mina replied, I wish you healing. Goodbye. She deleted the thread. Not out of anger, but because she had no reason to hold on to it anymore. The past no longer needed a place in her present. The final day of the year came. Mina stood on her balcony watching fireworks light the sky. Sherry called and yelled over the explosions. To new beginnings. Mina laughed. To peace. Darren sent a text. Grateful I met you this year. She replied, Me too. As the sky filled with color, Mina whispered to herself, This year, I came back to life. Mina sat across from the podcast host in a small, cozy studio. The microphone in front of her caught every breath, every pause. So, the host asked gently, what would you say to someone who feels like their worth depends on what they can offer in a relationship? Mina smiled thoughtfully. I tell them they were born enough. That real love doesn't come with conditions. And that leaving isn't giving up, it's choosing peace. The host leaned in. You just gave someone out there permission to breathe again. Mina blinked back tears. Then it was worth saying. At a community arts program, Mina led a small group of teenage girls in poetry writing. One girl, Leia, sat in the corner, scribbling furiously. Mina crouched beside her. Wanna share what you're working on? Leia hesitated, then handed her the notebook. Mina read the words slowly. I don't want to be chosen last anymore. Mina looked up at her. You know, she said softly, I used to feel the same way. Leia's eyes widened. But look at you now. Mina smiled gently. That's because I chose myself first. And that made all the difference. One Saturday afternoon, Sherry rushed into Mina's apartment waving her hand in the air. He proposed, she screamed. Mina jumped up, nearly knocking over her tea. No way. Yes way. Sherry squealed. Mina hugged her tightly. I'm so happy for you. You'll help me plan it, right? Sherry asked. Every detail, Mina promised. They spent hours flipping through dress samples and playlist ideas. It's funny, Sherry said later. For years I worried you'd be the first to get married. Mina laughed. Turns out we were both meant to get happy, just not on the same road. One quiet evening, Mina received a letter in the mail. She recognized the handwriting immediately, Rico's. Inside was a short note. Mina, I've started a small farm outside Okoto. It's peaceful. The silence makes me listen to myself more. I've made peace with what I did, and I hope you have too. Thank you for being my mirror when I needed one. Rico. Mina read it twice, then folded it neatly and placed it in her journal. She didn't feel the weight she once did. Just a cool breeze of memory. She whispered, Peace be with you too. At a serene lake cabin surrounded by tall trees, Mina finally completed her first poetry book. The retreat had given her space to breathe, reflect, and write without judgment. She stared at the last page, her fingers trembling. The title, More Than Enough. She whispered the name aloud and smiled. The girl who once questioned her worth had written a book filled with strength, not apologies. And that, she thought, was the real story. 2 weeks after the book launched, a review appeared on a popular literary blog. More Than Enough is not just poetry, it's a love letter to survival. Mina's voice is both sharp and tender, like a blade wrapped in silk. Mina sat on her bed reading the review, her hands covering her mouth. Tears slid down her cheeks silently. Not from pain, but from pride. She reached for her phone and sent Sherry a voice note. We did it. We really did. One evening, Darren insisted on taking her somewhere special. Just trust me, he said. When they arrived, Mina was stunned. It was an intimate outdoor space strung with fairy lights. At the back, a wall held a projection. Congratulations, Mina, you are more than enough. She turned to him, eyes wide. You did all this? He shrugged shyly. You've clapped for everyone else. I wanted to clap for you. Mina touched his hand. Thank you. This means more than you know. Music began to play, soft and slow. Darren offered his hand. May I have this dance? Mina hesitated, then nodded. They moved together gently, like they had done it before in another lifetime. There was no urgency, no pressure, just two people enjoying a moment. We're not rushing this, right? Mina asked. Darren smiled. Not at all. Joy doesn't need speed, just presence. And so they danced, two hearts, not yet lovers, but perfectly in step. The next morning, Mina stood by her window with a cup of tea. The wind brushed her hair back and kissed her cheeks. Below, the street moved with life. Cars, people, the rhythm of the world continuing. But inside her, something had slowed down. Something had softened. She looked around her small apartment and felt calm. She wasn't missing anything. She wasn't waiting for anything. She was just whole. She walked to her mirror, took a breath, and whispered to her reflection, I lost love. But I found myself. The words didn't sting, they rang like truth. Outside, the sun rose without asking for permission. Inside, Mina turned the page in her journal, smiled, and began to write a new poem. This time, not for healing, but for joy. The end. Yellow heart more than enough.